Hello and welcome to these sessions of the Brahma Kumaris in Miami. So nice that you have taken the time to join us and spend some time for yourself. Spend some time to get to know yourself better and to reconnect with your inner peace, reconnect with your inner strength, and, um, and take time for your inner journey of knowing yourself as a spiritual being that you are. Today's topic is creating my fortune, reaping from my fortune. And so we're going to be exploring this topic. But before we do that, let's start with a meditation. So as I sit here in a comfortable position, I reflect on my life. And I reflect on all the different relationships that I have, my different activities, my way of relating to life, to situations, to others. And I've noticed that many of them, I'm very happy with myself, of the way I relate to others, I relate to myself, and the way I handle situations. But in other cases, I know that I can improve. I recognize that I can change some aspects of myself to relate to others in a better way, to handle situations with more peace, more wisdom, in a more friendly way, let's say. And so as I reflect on my life, at the same time, I can recognize all the goodness in my life. Even though I have had some hardships, some challenges, at the same time, I can recognize so many fortunate aspects in my life, so much goodness. And so as I reflect on my life, I can pause for a moment to say thank you to all the people that have been part of my life. Many of these relationships have been very easy and harmonious, and other relationships have been probably a little challenging, but I still see the goodness in all of them. All the lessons I have learned, all the gifts each one of them have given me. So as I continue reflecting on my life, I think of myself and I recognize all the good qualities in me as a gift from God to me. But at the same time, I recognize many aspects of my personality, of the way I talk, of the way I think, of the way I respond to situations and people, of the things that I say or don't say. I examine myself with honesty. And I explore those personality traits in myself that I would like to change, that I know that I can do better, and that I would like to change. Because I want to go through my life as being my best friend to myself. Because I know that everything I do has an effect on me, that, that everything I do comes back to me. And if I want a good quality of life, if I want happiness, if I want peace, if I want spiritual love, abundance, if I want a good life and feelings of well-being, I have to cultivate that. I have to give that first. So I realize of my great potential, of my great inner power to create the life that I want. But it is in my hands. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So with this short reflection, we start our little chit chat today, like a little presentation today on the topic, like I was saying, of creating my fortune, reaping from my fortune. So we live in very auspicious spiritual times. At this time, in the beliefs of Brahma Kumaris, in the studies that we do, we believe that this is the most auspicious time that we're living in. A time when we can create great spiritual attainments. And so, with this awareness, and with awareness also that as a spiritual being that I am, at every moment, whatever I'm giving out is energy. Everything is energy. My thoughts, my words, my actions, everything is energy. Money is energy. Time is energy. Everything is energy. So at every moment, whatever energy I'm giving out, whatever goes out, is going to come back to me. I hope you understand this and believe in this, because whatever energy we give out, being everything energy, is going to come back to me. What I put out, it comes back. So whatever I do with my thoughts, whatever I do with my words, my actions, however I use my resources, it is what is going to come back to me. So, for example, the resources are money, time, many other things like food, electricity. And so if I use the resources, if I use, for example, food in a way that I prepare healthy food, but not just healthy food, food that is going to be, that it hasn't harmed the elements, animals, for example. This is my way of thinking. So that is going to be whatever I'm putting into my body as food is going to be bringing the outcome of strengthening this body, not just in a physical level, but also energetically emotionally, because everything has vibrations, like I was saying. So if the food that I'm putting in is full of life and very healthy, that's going to be the result in the body too. It's going to strengthen the body. But if it's kind of dead food, it's not going to do that in the body. The same is with money. If I use my money in a way that, of course, to cover my basic needs, but not just in a way of thinking of myself, but in a way of also serving humanity. If I use my money for the betterment of humanity, it is a very elevated, good way to use our finances, let's say, even if we have very little, and a little bit we put on the side for that. It is very, very beneficial. It is very good. And it's helping me to create my fortune. And in the way I don't do it just for that reason, but I do it because I want to use part of the money that I have, even if it's a little or a lot, whatever it is, for the betterment of humanity. So there are many different ways in the way we use all our resources, our thoughts, words, actions, money, electricity, water, time, etc., food. If we use all of these things mindfully, carefully, responsibly, we will always have them, always. If I don't waste electricity, if I don't waste water, I will always be having that. With money, if I earn it in an honest way and I use it, like I was saying before, in a very, not just for myself, but for the betterment of humanity, I will always have that resource of the money, as long as I don't misuse it. And then when it comes to my thoughts, it's probably the most powerful resource, I would say, thoughts are very powerful, as we all know, as humanity in general knows by now. There has been so much written on the power of our thoughts. And so the more I use my thoughts very carefully to just to cultivate my inner spiritual self, to cultivate my inner goodness, to strengthen my awareness of the spiritual being that I am, and to strengthen that self-respect, to strengthen in me that self-respect, self-esteem, self-value as a child of God that I am. The more I cultivate that, the more I will be also feeling that way. Because it's daily, every day, I cultivate that in me. I nourish that in me, that awareness of the spiritual being that I am, a child of God, a beautiful child of God. That's going to be my vision for others too. Because I can only give towards others what I have within me. So if I feel good towards myself, if I feel that recognition of the value of who I am, that's going to be the vision, like I was saying, that I will be looking at others, seeing others with that vision. I will be seeing in others what I'm feeling within. So the more I cultivate that in me, the more I'm going to see others with respect, with love, with good wishes, seeing their value. When it comes to my words can be used to empower others or to disempower others. My words can be used to uplift others or to hurt others. My words can be used in many different ways. It's my choice, but words are very, they have a lot of power. So the more I'm aware that it is up to me how I use my words. It is up to me if I use my words to empower others, to empower myself, to strengthen the inner, the value in others and to strengthen others, or the opposite. Again, that's going to be up to me. But again, whatever I give to others is going to come back to me. I can use my time when it comes to time. I can use my time and my words to criticize, to complain, to gossip. And what kind of energy is going to be that? What kind of energy is going to come back to me? So this is a very deep topic in the sense that in my hands, I'm creating my future at every moment. In my hands, I'm creating my fortune. If I use my resources, like I said, of thoughts, words, actions, time, money, food, electricity, water, many other things. If I use everything with that awareness, this is why spiritual awareness is so empowering, because it makes us aware of how to use everything, how to go through life very mindfully, with more responsibility. And not doing it in a dogmatic way, but doing it out of understanding all the spiritual, what energy is, spiritual laws of the universe, let's say. So if I use my words, again, to criticize or to gossip or to complain, that's kind of the life I'm creating for myself. I'm filling myself with this heavy energy that is not going to help me feel strong spiritually. And so again, with my actions the same way, using my actions to create a masterpiece of myself, for myself, and to benefit everyone else and to make a better world for all. Because service is an aspect of human beings, it's an aspect in our lives. Every human being feels good when helping the world be a better place, when we're helping others, when we're helping each other. It's part of humanity. It's part of the nature of humanity to serve. So the more we're using our time in doing deeds that are making this world a better place, we're going to feel good. But if we don't do that, and if we use if we do things that are affecting humanity and affecting our world, we're not going to feel good. So creating my fortune is at every moment, I'm having the opportunity in my hands to create my fortune, being mindfully of how I go through my life, of how I live every moment. And at the same time, if I am aware of that energy, whatever energy I put out comes back to me. So I'm going to be living and living for my fortune, reaping my fortune. So everything that comes back to me is the fruit of my actions, is the fruit of my thoughts, words, actions, is the fruit of how I have used my resources, everything. So at every moment, I am living from my fortune. It may look like maybe it was an inheritance I received. It may look like maybe, okay, let's say that I won the lottery. It may seem to be like, it may be a situation where somebody gave me a gift of, let's say, some material gifts or so. But actually, in a spiritual, understanding all of these external things from with a spiritual awareness, it is the fruit of my actions. It is a fruit of something that I've done in the past, that I'm reaping the fruit of it. And other people have been the instrument, let's say, to give me what is my fortune, to give me what is part of what I have, the seeds that I have sowed. Then I reap that fortune. So let's live with this awareness, and just before we finish and have a meditation, let's just close with a meditation, like I said, and also just to remind you that keep checking all the classes that we're having right now, the BK, the miamibrahmakumaris.org, miamibrahmakumaris.org. We hope you keep seeing our classes, and again in brahmakumaris.org, in our international website too. There are many other resources that are very helpful for our spiritual development. So, so let's just close with a meditation, like I was saying. Sit in a comfortable position. As I breathe deeply, I feel very grateful to have this awareness. Very grateful to have the awareness that I am creating my life at every moment. That at every moment I have choices of how to use my thoughts, my words, what actions to perform. At every moment, I choose to pause before talking. And I choose to decide if what I'm going to say is of benefit to myself and others. If what I'm going to say is coming from a heart filled with love and good wishes. Before I do anything, I also pause before and reflect if what I'm going to do is of benefit to myself and others. And if it's coming from a heart filled with love, filled with God. The more at the same time, the more I go through my life in the awareness of the spiritual being that I am, a child of God. Before I speak, before I do anything, I also remind myself that as a child of God that I am, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, would God be proud of me? Would God do something like that, say something like that? So I have this opportunity to start creating this habit of checking my thoughts, checking my words, checking my behavior, and deciding before talking, before acting, if it's something that I will benefit from speaking or doing. And the more I start creating these habits, before I know it, it becomes a very natural habit. I see myself talking in a more positive way. I see myself speaking in a more positive, beneficial way. I see myself being more mindful in the way I behave. And all of this will add in myself feeling better towards myself, happier with myself. And at the same time, I start creating my fortune this way, which then I will be reaping from it, reaping the fruit of it. Om Shanti. Best wishes, take care of yourself, stay healthy, and good night.